Hello everyone. We meet again in the special weekend weather forecast on VTB Tien8, where a series of remarkable meteorological developments are happening all over the United States. From unusually warm temperatures in the Midwest and Northwest to cool air moving down the East Coast. And especially, tropical moisture and the first snow of the season gradually appearing in the West. A colorful, dynamic weather picture awaits us in the next few days. Let's go through each region, each time, to see what is happening and will happen across the United States, from now until Halloween. Currently, the national temperature map shows a clear differentiation. Much of the central and northwest United States is experiencing temperatures 5 to 10 degrees above average. Dry air, sunny skies, and light southerly winds have allowed parts of the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Kansas to reach the 80s in the afternoon. In particular, the Black Hills of South Dakota down to central Kansas are trending 20 to 25 degrees warmer than normal, which is a truly remarkable number for mid-October. In contrast, the East Coast is experiencing cooler air, with temperatures 5 to 10 degrees below average. In New England and the Mid-Atlantic, daytime temperatures are only in the 50s, while southern states like Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina hover in the 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit range. And even the Southeast, which is typically warm year-round, is significantly cooler than average, with many places reaching the 70s and even lower in some coastal areas. Meanwhile, Central and South Texas are still experiencing summer temperatures, reaching the 90s, especially in San Antonio, Houston, and the southern part of the border with Mexico. Starting this weekend, southerly winds will gradually return across the Central Plains. This will bring warm air from the Gulf of Mexico, causing temperatures to rise sharply across the region. Cities like Lincoln, Omaha, and Des Moines will soon see the 80s return, while Kansas City and Oklahoma City will reach the mid-80s or even higher in some spots. However, some areas will still be a bit chilly at night, especially in the Northeast. Lows could drop into the 30s, with a chance of frost or light ice in Maine, New Hampshire, and even parts of Minnesota. But in just a few days, a warm air mass will rise, helping overnight lows in Nebraska and Kansas inch up, with some areas recording lows in the 60s, a rarity for mid-October. Storm warning, gusting winds, HAIRLOOMS, and a little tropical storm. There will be a few areas of localized thunderstorms over the next 3 days. A weak front is forming from Lake Michigan down into the Ozarks of Missouri. There is a chance of showers, thunder, and 30 to 40 miles per hour winds, but the risk of tornadoes is low. To the west, from Las Vegas to northwest Arizona, there is a chance of more severe storms today. Even Salt Lake City and parts of southern Utah and Arizona will be affected. The most notable phenomena are small hail and strong wind gusts, with the possibility of localized heavy rain. East U.S. in the Carolinas and Virginia, the sky will be cloudy, thick and low. By midday and afternoon, those clouds will develop into scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially in the Outer Banks, Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, Columbia and Charleston. As the night falls, rain will spread to the central and northeast, including New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware and Maryland. These rains will not be heavy, but enough to wet the entire major metropolitan area along the Atlantic coast. Midwest sky in Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky will become less cloudy, with intermittent sunshine during the day. From Memphis, Paducah to Indianapolis, the sky will be clear and quite pleasant. However, the Chicago, Peoria, and St. Louis areas could see light rain in the morning, followed by sunshine in the afternoon. Plates and Rocky Mountains from Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Colorado, clouds will increase, with a mix of light rain and humidity as tropical moisture moves in from the eastern Pacific. Kansas and Oklahoma could see more sun in the afternoon, but there's still a chance for light showers. Western U.S. Here's the focus. A strong trough of low pressure is moving up the west coast, bringing dense moisture from the Pacific. Combined with a tropical feedback, rainfall will increase in California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and Colorado. The Four Corners region, where 4 states meet, will see heavy rain throughout the weekend. And above 6,000 feet, the first snow of the season could be on the way, especially in the Rockies and the mountains of Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. The first wet snows of fall will be a sign that winter is slowly knocking on the door of the United States. By Monday morning, October 13th, the precipitation map shows a stark contrast. The driest area will stretch from Dallas to Indianapolis, including Little Rock, Memphis, and Nashville, where there will be little to no precipitation over the weekend. From Jacksonville, Florida, to Savannah, Georgia, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, and Norfolk. Here, rainfall amounts could reach several inches, causing minor localized flooding. In the southwest, Phoenix, Flagstaff, Tucson, Salt Lake City, and Denver will be directly affected by tropical moisture from the Pacific, increasing the risk of flash flooding and waterlogging in mountainous areas. In addition, the northwest coast, Washington, Oregon, will also see light snow in the Cascade Range over the weekend. Snow and wind, Canada less dangerous, but northern plains still cold previously. Forecast models showed the possibility of the first snowstorm in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, Canada. The good news is, the danger level has decreased. Instead of a blizzard, we will see scattered sleet and light snow, especially in Alberta and central Manitoba. However, winds will remain strong across the northern plains and the Rockies, especially this weekend. Winds will gradually decrease as we move south, with the Mississippi Valley and around Memphis seeing only light winds, bringing milder weather. Strong high pressure, stroke in the Midwest from Monday, October 13th to Saturday, October 18th. A large trough of high pressure will dominate the west coast and Sacramento Valley in California. As pressure increases, the air becomes more stable, skies clear, and temperatures rise. The effects of this high-pressure trough will extend across the entire southern and central United States, from Texas to Illinois, bringing temperatures 10 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit above average, the equivalent of a warm spell in mid-October. In contrast, California and the Pacific coast will see more rain and thicker clouds, resulting in slightly below average temperatures. Some areas of Southern California could be 25 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than normal. Over the same period, precipitation will increase in California, the Four Corners, and the Western Plains. In contrast, the Gulf Coast, which includes Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle, will be drier than normal. The European ECMWF and GFS U.S. forecast models are broadly consistent. The west will be much wetter. The east and southeast will be markedly drier. However, the GFS shows heavier rainfall in North Dakota, Montana, and Minnesota, while the ECMWF is trending milder. This difference suggests there is still some uncertainty, but the overall picture is clear. The western U.S. will be wet, the southeast drier, through the second half of October. Halloween forecast. Cold air waits for the end of the month as we head towards Halloween. The long-term models are starting to show an interesting scenario. A powerful storm in the western Pacific, currently active east of Tokyo, is expected to move up into the Aleutian Islands, Alaska, next week. And that, yes, could usher in a powerful cold front that will descend on North America, bringing temperatures down in many places by the end of October. The European Central Weather System, ECMWF, shows a cooling trend in the western and central United States, while the GFS shows the opposite, warmer in the east and colder in the west. Right now, the two models are not in complete agreement, but meteorologists believe that the first major change of the cold season could come just after Halloween. Put all of that together and we're witnessing a mid-autumn meteorological symphony. where summer warmth, winter chill, and tropical humidity coexist on the same continent. Remember, mid-October is a turn-of-the-seasons moment, where things can change overnight, from warm sunshine to cold rain, from showers to snow. Stay tuned for future updates, and be prepared for any weather surprises that may come your way before Halloween this year. Strong waves are likely to form as it moves westward. Hello everyone. We are entering mid-October, the period when tropical activity typically peaks, and in the past few hours, two disturbances off the tropical Atlantic have begun to show signs of forming strong waves. These two systems, if they continue to develop, could be named Lorenzo and Melissa, the next two names on the list of tropical cyclones for this year's hurricane season. And in particular, the area that could become Melissa is showing many worrying factors as it begins to move westwards, straight towards the Caribbean and Central America. Currently, meteorological satellites have recorded a band of strong convection stretching from off the coast of Africa all the way to the mid-Atlantic. This is where tropical waves, are moving westward at an average speed of around 20 kilometers per hour. According to the forecast models of the European Meteorological Center, ECMWF, and the US GFS, two of these waves have the most significant potential to develop. The first wave is predicted to move up into the North Atlantic, where wind conditions aloft will cause it to weaken before it can form a cyclone. However, the second wave, moving at a lower latitude and still entirely over warm water, is said to have a much greater chance of developing as it approaches the Caribbean in the next 7 to 10 days. The European model is currently showing a 50 to 70% chance of a tropical depression forming for this second wave, while several other models, such as ICON and AIM, have also noted the same development trend. While it is too early to determine the direction and intensity, all early indications suggest that this is an area that needs to be closely monitored. Over the past 48 hours, many areas in the Caribbean have experienced very heavy rains. In Jamaica, the Cayman Islands and eastern Cuba, rainfall amounts exceeding 75 to 100 millimeters have been recorded in just 24 hours. Further rainfall is forecast for the next few days, particularly in Little Cayman and Cayman Brac, where totals could exceed 100 millimeters, enough to cause localized flooding and landslides. The situation in Central America is also not encouraging. Areas of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama have been experiencing rains that have lasted for weeks. Some areas have recorded over 200 millimeters, causing landslides and flash floods in mountainous areas, particularly in central and western Panama, where rivers have reached high alert levels. The Meteorological Agency advises people to stay away from stream banks and weak slopes during this period. Two cyclonic bands are clearly visible, one in the east, the other in the central Atlantic. The first wave, which is believed to be a candidate for Lorenzo, is likely to move north and weaken over colder waters. Meanwhile, the second wave, possibly Melissa, is on a lower trajectory, likely to cross the warmer waters to the south and enter the Caribbean. If this is the case, it could develop into a tropical depression in the next 7 to 10 days, depending on upper-level wind conditions. Currently, sea surface temperatures in the Caribbean are ranging from 29 to 30 degrees Celsius, which is a very favorable energy level for tropical cyclone development. Residents of the smaller islands in the eastern Caribbean will need to brace for wet weather over the next few days. Areas such as Antigua, Barbuda, Dominica, Barbados, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago are all forecast to see scattered showers and thunderstorms. Specifically, in these areas, rain may come suddenly, accompanied by strong gusts of wind and thunder, although it may not last long. Radar images show a large rain band continuing to move from the southwest toward Jamaica, bringing moderate to heavy rain over the next 3 days. 70 to 90 millimeters is expected in Kingston and the south coast, while the central mountains could see over 100 millimeters. The Cayman Islands remain a concern, with forecast models showing intermittent rain, interspersed with strong thunderstorms. Residents of Grand Cayman are advised not to travel through low-lying areas, especially during peak travel times. To the north, Cuba is experiencing scattered rain, concentrated in the eastern and central parts of the island. Total rainfall could reach 120 millimeters, with flash flood and landslide warnings in the eastern mountains of Cuba. As we look north, the northeastern United States and the mid-Atlantic region are being affected by a long-running rain system. Heavy rains are expected from North and South Carolina, through Virginia, Delaware, to Cape Cod and the New England coastal islands. Some areas could see total rainfall of 100 to 150 millimeters over the next 72 hours. Coastal winds could reach 50 to 60 kilometers per hour, with even stronger winds along Cape Hatteras and Ocean City. Although the system has not been named, it is enough to cause coastal erosion and flooding in low-lying areas. Bermuda is also in the area, with 100 millimeters of rain expected over the next 3 days, along with wind gusts of force 8 to 9. Local residents are advised to limit their beach access due to high waves and strong rip currents. Further north, Manitoba and Winnipeg, Canada, are seeing a new cold weather system moving from west to east, bringing heavy rain and the possibility of localized flash flooding. Meanwhile, on the west coast of the United States, another system is moving in from the Pacific, bringing heavy rain to Washington, Oregon and Northern California in the coming days. The National Weather Service is warning of flash flooding in low-lying valleys and mountain slopes, especially in areas that are saturated after several days of rain. NOAA satellite images show the Atlantic Ocean becoming turbulent. Bright bands representing waves 2 to 4 meters high are appearing across the mid-Atlantic. As the low-pressure systems move through, the seas will become even rougher next week, especially around the Bahamas and central Cuba. Fishing boats, cruise ships and marine vehicles are advised to limit activities and stay away from the eastern Caribbean and strong winds. Large waves can be dangerous for small boats and diving. In summary, the Atlantic Ocean is in a very active phase, with 2 areas of disturbance that have the potential to develop into tropical cyclones. The first wave, possibly Lorenzo, is expected to head north and weaken, but the second wave, potential Melissa, has a concerning trajectory, as it heads west and could enter the warmer Caribbean Sea next week. Meanwhile, the Caribbean and Central America continue to face prolonged heavy rain, the risk of flash floods and landslides, while the northeast U.S. and Bermuda are experiencing heavy rain, strong winds and rough seas. Viewers are advised to stay updated in the coming days. If these systems continue to develop, we will provide a special bulletin as soon as there are any changes. Thank you for watching today's International Weather Report. Be sure to subscribe and follow so you don't miss urgent updates on 2 systems. Lorenzo and Melissa, storms that could change the Atlantic weather picture this October.